guys, it's Marie from Sweet Life Adventures, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of our all-time favorite meals. This is the first time I've ever made it while we're out camping, but it's our favorite thing to eat at home. I make it every single year for Brad for his birthday. It's fettuccine Alfredo with some really good garlic bread and a Caesar salad. So the first thing we need to do, boil the pasta. But I want to show you our favorite kind of like camping cooking accessory, and that's our Camp Chef. We could not cook the meals we cook without this thing. I absolutely love it. And it's really easy to light. You just hook it to a propane tank and crank on the lever, and you stick just a lighter in there, and it lights up super easy, kind of like a regular grill at your house would. Okay, so I'm gonna crank it up pretty high because we wanna get this water boiling. Okay, when the noodles are done, then I will come back and show you how we prep the sauce. Okay, so our water's finally boiling. I did add a little bit of oil. Usually at home I use olive oil, but just for camping we have vegetables, so that's what I use. And some salt. If you wonder why I keep everything in weird little bags, it's just easier to pack than like an entire, carton of salt. So you'll see in a minute too, like I put my pre-measure out some of my stuff, so it's really easy to kind of like dump and go. Okay, so now we're gonna add our noodles. At home, when I have a huge pot, I just dump them in and kind of let them, soften as it goes. But since we're camping and it's kind of hard already to eat, I'm gonna actually break them in half today. That's not like the traditional way, I know, but it does make it easier to eat when you're eating off a plate and you don't have a table. A lot of people are intimidated to make things like fettuccine Alfredo. A lot of people like to buy like the canned Alfredo sauce at the grocery store. And I just gotta tell you, it's really not that hard. If I can make it, you can make it. And it tastes so much better, fresh. So much better. And give it a little bit of a stir here, just to kind of get it incorporated. Okay, while the noodles are still boiling, I'm going to start prepping our garlic bread. I went ahead and bought this sourdough. It's just kind of one of those round loaves. This one was pre-cut, which is great. Usually I do just like French bread at home, but I thought, while camping, it's kind of nice to have just like one longer piece instead of like coming back for seconds and things like that. So to make garlic bread, I'm going to use our cast iron griddle, but for now, I'm gonna butter each piece. Ooh, look at that, too much. Sometimes spreadable butter, it's really soft. We never ever use spreadable butter at home. It's just like, I don't know, we don't use it, but for camping, it seriously saves our lives. So you don't have to wait for it to kind of, come to room temperature. And it has a lid, which is nice to keep bugs and things out of it. Okay, so now that I have a couple pieces done, I'll go ahead and show you how I season them with what. That way you guys don't have to watch me do the whole loaf. Okay, so got my 2 pieces of sourdough. I'm going to use some garlic salt. This is the kind from Trader Joe's. It's a grinder, which we really like. It has great flavor. And put a little across the top. Okay. And then I'm also going to use this rosemary herb seasoning mix. This one's a Pampered Chef one, but a lot of times I'll just use plain old Italian seasoning, and it's just as good. Okay, a little bit like that. Then, when it comes time, we'll turn on the griddle and fry them just bottom side down until they come out really crispy. Okay, I think the secret to making a good Alfredo sauce is to use fresh cheese. You can use the kind that's already pre-grated at the store, but they put lots of thickeners on it and separators so that they don't all stick together in the little bag or in the container. And that stuff really can kind of make your cheese or your sauce kind of grainy, and I don't like that. So, fresh Parmesan cheese, and what you want to do is you want to cut the rind off. As you can see, it's a darker color. But that's basically the waxier part of the cheese that they use when it's in the big cheese wheel. Okay, so you don't really want to eat that either. So you want to cut it off as close as you can. On this side, it looks like I missed a little bit of the rind. A lot of people like to save their rinds. So if they're making like a red sauce, you just can kind of throw this in with that sauce, and it gives it some really good flavor. And it doesn't really melt quite like regular Parmesan cheese, so you'll be able to scoop it out and find it. So for this recipe, I'm doubling it today because we have lots of hungry people to feed. I need 3 cups of Parmesan cheese, which when I've done this in the past, it's an entire slice of Parmesan cheese. And I also like to kind of like cut it into smaller pieces, only because it's easier to grate a smaller piece of cheese than a huge piece of cheese. So now that I've got this kind of thirds, I also picked like the puniest enough to do this, but you know. I got this cheese grater the other day at Walmart, and it has a built-in catch-all, which is kind of great for camping, you know, because no matter how many times you clean your camping table, it just seems like it's always a little dingy. So another thing that's kind of cool is it has these non-slip pieces on them, so you can grate it sideways, which really is kind of nice too. I don't think I will do it that way, but who knows, maybe. Okay, our noodles are done. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn off Camp Chef and show you how I strain it. Okay, this is all the stuff for our sauce. I bought this pan at Walmart a couple days ago just because I was trying to think, well, how can I strain it and make it easy? And this is one where it's actually built in, like a built-in strainer where you put the noodles. So all you have to do is kind of like lift it up and let the water drain out, which is really a lifesaver. While camping especially. Okay, give it a good shake. Try and get the excess water out of it. Set that there. Take this and go dump it. Okay, so now that I had strained my noodles and dumped the water, I am going to put the noodles back into the pan. And I'm going to add just a little bit of butter so they don't stick while we make the sauce. Okay, again, using just that spreadable butter only because it's what I have out right now. Okay, give that a good mix. Perfect. You can see they're done perfectly. Love it. Okay, so now I'm going to just go ahead and move that over here out of the way. Hot pads on deck. Now we're going to start the sauce. Alfredo sauce is one of the easiest sauces there is to make. Okay? It has very few ingredients. You can't really mess it up. Okay? So the first thing you want to do is start with butter. Again, I'm doubling this recipe, so I'm taking 2 sticks. And you're going to put it in the pot. This is just leftover water from the pasta. It's no big deal. I like to slice it into kind of smaller chunks for no reason other than it's a lot faster to melt. Okay? It helps it come together a lot quicker. Okay, so I'm going to take these. It's kind of melting in that hot water. I guess I didn't think that one through, huh? Okay. And we'll do that again for the second one. Okay, so sometimes at this step, after I put the butter in the pan, I'll kind of melt it and add a little bit of garlic, fresh garlic. I don't have that today, so we're just gonna kind of move along, but it does add, I think, a little bit of extra flavor. So again, we're gonna light our Camp Chef. Oh yeah, back in business. For this, you just want it really, really low and slow. Okay? This pasta sauce should never boil. If it boils, then it becomes curdled and nasty. So it really is easy. You just kind of have to watch it and stir it. Okay, so we have 2 cups of butter, and then we're going to add the 3 cups of Parmesan cheese. Okay. All right. And then we're going to add 4 tablespoons of flour. And these are cheap little containers I got from the dollar store. And they have lids that fit pretty good, but they pop off easy, so that's why they're taped. Okay, 4 tablespoons. Again, this is one of those things I kind of just measured out at home, so I didn't have to take all of it with me. Okay. You want 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. And I don't ever really measure it out. I just kind of grind it until it looks about right. All right, Brad, if you want to show them what that looks like. Okay, and then you only want about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Less if you're on some kind of salt-restricted diet, but I am using salted butter in it, so it already has quite a bit of salt. Okay, so now all the ingredients are in except for the cream. Okay, so the final ingredient is 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Okay, and as you can see, right from the show, the butter's getting all melted and delicious. It's really starting to smell good. Okay, add this cream. And after I add the cream, I just take a whisk and I beat it until it is very, very smooth. Okay, for 2 reasons. First of all, the flour, when you add it, it's a great thickener, and so is the cream, but you don't want to have weird little clumps of it in your food. And the Parmesan cheese, it actually takes a lot longer to melt, which actually helps kind of incorporate all the flour in with it. All right, so grab my whisk. It's already starting to look delicious. Okay, make sure you keep it on low. Make sure you keep stirring it. And for me, it usually takes about 5 minutes for it to completely melt and combine. You can see the cheese is still not quite there. Got my 6 pieces. I'm gonna light this. You light it the same way you light the other side. Okay. I found that for a griddle like this, since the cast iron is so thick, it does take a little bit longer to come up to heat. Okay. And I'm just gonna put it seasoning side down. Okay, and I'll just come and check on that every couple minutes until it starts looking golden and delicious. Okay, while I am watching our sauce, making sure that it doesn't boil or burn, okay, and giving it a good stir here, I'm gonna start making the salad. I don't know why or how we came across this, but I think it was just out of necessity. We had brought a salad and we didn't bring a bowl to make a salad in. So we actually just make the salad right inside the salad bag. You wanna make sure you kind of roll down the sides a little bit so you're not reaching your whole hand in there trying to get salad out. Okay, make it as square and flat as you can. Okay. Pour in all the ingredients. And this is a really easy side, really any meal that you want to make up here. Sometimes if I don't know what kind of salad or what kind of like side to put with something, I'll just grab any kind of bagged salad to try. Oops. And got the cheese, some pepper. And last but not least, well, stop, take a moment to stir. So you can see it's a lot smoother than it was last time. It's getting close to being done. And it smells great. Okay. A good stir. Okay. Put this dressing in the bag. I feel like everybody knows how to do this, but once you get it all mixed in there, I've seen people do it a couple different ways. You can like roll it back up and just shake it. But then I feel like when you roll it down, it gets kind of messy. So I just take a spoon and a fork like you would salad tongs and just mix it all together. The whole thing. Time to check our bread. Oh yeah, that is looking perfect. So I'm gonna pull these off. That one can use another minute. That one's close. Perfect, that one's delicious. Really want them to be that really pretty golden color. I'm gonna give these 4 pieces another minute. Okay, as you can see, all of the cheese has finally melted. See how it's smooth, kind of creamy looking? Okay, this is done. Okay, everything is done. The second round of garlic bread is just finishing up. So let me show you what it looks like all done. Okay, got some noodles. Another thing a lot of people do is cook their noodles ahead of time. Honestly, that would be a huge time saver. Okay. This is gonna be a plate for a kid, so I'm not putting too much on it. delicious piece of garlic bread. A nice scoop. Look at that Alfredo sauce. So good. Okay, last but not least, a little bit of our salad in a bag. And you can see this, the dressing distributed really evenly. Again, this is for a kid who doesn't like salad, so we're not gonna waste it on him. There you go, how to make fettuccine Alfredo in the wild.